Welcome everybody to a brand new Blu-ray and DVD out and about video today. And this week sees the release of the complete first season of Batwoman, hitting store shelves along with the DC animated film Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons. And Arrow Video is releasing a 4K limited edition of the 1980 sci-fi classic Flash Gordon! I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. Plus, much more. So let's go see the deals, exclusives, and we're at our first location, Walmart. So let's go in and see what they got. All right, everybody, we are in at Walmart here, and the first thing I'm seeing is they have the Blu-ray DVD digital of Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons for rollback $17.96. They did have it for $19.96, but $17.96, that's not a bad price for the Blu-ray DVD. Now, I got a chance to watch this on Amazon Prime. Now, I'm going to be real honest with you guys. I don't know a ton about Deathstroke. I know a little bit. He's been a supervillain and archenemy for the Teen Titans, Justice League, Batman on occasion. He's sort of this master assassin with a certain code of honor, which, who knew that, like, supervillains had codes of honor, but okay, whatever. And I thought to myself, I wasn't too keen on actually watching this because I was like, well, it's Deathstroke, they're focusing a whole movie on him, and I had gotten so used to the Superman movies and the Batman stuff, the Justice League, and I'm like, okay, they're focusing a whole movie on Deathstroke? How is this gonna be exactly? And I was really pleasantly surprised by this one. It's basically about this guy, obviously Slade Wilson, Deathstroke himself, who is living two different lives. He's living the master assassin that we know him as, and he's also living a life as a devoted husband and father, and it's basically, the movie's about those two worlds colliding with one another, and sort of the master assassin life bleeding into his home and family life, and how he's got to save his family and redeem himself in a lot of ways. It's actually really well done. I thought to myself, focusing on a villain, trying to turn it around and trying to make him more sympathetic, I thought, I don't know if this is going to work. But I was pleasantly surprised. You got to feel for Deathstroke. You got to feel for Slade, his predicament, the mistakes that he's made over the past, how his family has had to pay for those mistakes. I really love his character quite a bit. I love the design of the costume. I think that's really great. It got some great sort of ninja aspects to it with the great, cool looking armor there and the mask. I love that. Great costume, and the action is really well done. Great DC animated action that you know and love. Some great, cool, bloody fights, bullets flying, swords, cutting into flesh. And the great thing about Deathstroke is because he can't easily kill him and he can regenerate, you can like throw as much bullets and cut him up as much as humanly possible, and he just keeps on coming, man. It's just great. You can just slice and dice him constantly. It's freaking awesome. It's really great. I thought the voice acting was really good. The animation, I think, is really well done. It's the same kind of great DC animation that you've come to know and love. I was surprised I liked this as much because, again, I thought coming from some really great movies that I've seen. I think the last one was that great Justice League movie. I thought, we're really going with Deathstroke here? We're going to do a whole movie on Deathstroke and try to turn the villain into some sort of good guy exactly? And I was like, I don't know how that's going to play. And honestly, it was really well done. Action is really good. Voice acting is fantastic. The designs of the characters, the animation, everything's well done here. I really shouldn't doubt DC at this point because everything I've seen has been absolutely wonderful. But Deathstroke really was honestly a very pleasant surprise, man. I was shocked by this one. I wasn't really expecting much because I was like, Deathstroke of all people, but it definitely surprised me. I would definitely give it a look. If you're on the fence, I definitely was, and I was pleasantly pleased. Really was. Of all movies, a Deathstroke movie, it actually worked. congratulations to DC for pulling this one off. And then the next thing I'm seeing over here, guys, is they have the DVD of The Outpost for $12.96 and the Blu-ray for $14.96. Now, I also ended up catching this on Amazon Prime, and I was really interested in this one, not only by the talent, but about it being a true story from the Afghan War. And as I've told you guys before, I do really love a good war movie, and I don't know, I just had a good feeling about this one, and I wanted to check it out. Basically, it's about these unit of U.S. soldiers who go to this combat outpost in Afghanistan, and it's them just defending this post against the Taliban fighters and just coming together as a unit and persevering. And it's a story that I had never actually heard of. It's actually an interesting sort of story that I've never known about. And so I was definitely intrigued to check it out. And I'm not going to lie, guys, this is really, really well done, man. I thought this was a brilliant, brilliant war movie. It's a really great movie about the courageousness of the soldiers and the heart they have and the valor that they show each other. Incredibly well done, incredibly well acted. Whether we're talking about Scott Eastwood, Caleb Landry Jones, Orlando Bloom, among every other actor, big and small, that's in this thing, everybody does a top-notch job here. You get to feel the desperations of battle going against the Taliban. You get to see the frustrations that these people have not seeing their families and wondering when they're going to leave this place, being scared and frightened and angered. Everything. This is such a phenomenal movie, and the action is amazing. Anytime that they get ambushed or there's a huge battle, it's really epic in scope. You can feel sort of the bullets raining down on them. You can feel the claustrophobia and how they're being attacked. It's really well shot. The locations are beautifully well done. Being in the sort of the Afghan mountains and the beauty of it, but yet the danger of it as well. Like, everything was so well done with this movie. And I really had a great time watching The Outpost. Now, mind you, it's over 2 hours long, so it is a lengthy film, man. It's definitely a commitment to watch this, but if you're into war movies, men going into battle, this is a really fantastic film. And the fact that it's a true story and this actually went down and happened, wow, really amazes me, man. It's really phenomenal. It's gritty. It really is a great test of American valor, and really an honor to the U.S. soldiers who put their lives on the line every single day. The Outpost is a really fantastic and well done tale. I had a feeling it was going to be good. I just did for some reason, and I was not disappointed by this one. This one really delivered. I'm so happy I got to watch this, man. If you have not catch this and love war movies, highly, highly recommend The Outpost, man. Really well done. I don't think you guys are going to be disappointed with this one. And then one more release that I'm seeing this week, and actually it's separate from the other new releases, and usually we don't see any sort of new indie titles at this Walmart. We usually don't, but this is like the one and only one here this week, and of course it has to be some weird title of Selfie Dad. Oh, Lord. Oh, and guess what? It's a Dove-approved title. Of course it is. It can't be an out and about with a little Dove-approved love. Oh, absolutely, guys. Read the Bible. Change your life. Right. Selfie Dad. Okay. What is this one about? In this lighthearted family film, one dad shakes off a midlife crisis and reconnects with his family with his Bible in one hand and his phone in the other. Okay. Selfie Dad. You know, usually when people have midlife crisis, usually they're either sleeping with other women, buying a Ferrari, you know, stuff to make them feel young again. I don't know many people having a midlife crisis read the Bible. Maybe I just am hanging out with the wrong crowd of people. The hell knows. I don't even know what I would do with my midlife crisis. Probably just buy a really big TV. Yeah, that would probably be mine for sure, guys. You know, I've talked about these type of movies constantly. These sort of shoving Jesus and the Bible down your throat type of movies. It seems like a sort of fun, religious comedy. Probably very harmless, but I have to be honest with you guys, man. I mean, I do like some religious movies. There's some religious movies that I really do enjoy. But the ones that I really like, they don't really hit you over the head with the message like so much that you feel like you're being bombarded. It's a little more subtle, or it's the movie's very entertaining, and so you don't feel like the message is like hitting you over the head as much as they're doing it. This one feels like they're really hitting it over the head in a big bad way. Like they're pretty much coming out and saying, "Hey, look, read the Bible, it'll change your life." Hey man, I'm Jewish, I got my own thing, okay, so ease off a little bit, you know what I'm saying, man? But I mean, these movies make a lot of money. They're huge. People love them. It's a genre within itself. People flock to these movies like crazy. They make a lot of bank because, well, the religion is big and people are always looking for more movies that express that kind of message. So I'm sure Selfie Dad is gonna find some sort of love somewhere, just not with me, guys. But I don't know. If you guys enjoy Selfie Dad, definitely let me know. Definitely not for me, but there is a crowd that will enjoy this. But I think the Jew is gonna stay far away from this one. You know what I'm saying, guys? Yeah, well, typical Dove approve. They either approve really weird kids films or very religious stuff. There's really no in between with the Dove Foundation, obviously. Very interesting releases, a few interesting stuff to check out. Not all of the major stuff, but a few things worth looking at. Not bad, guys. Let's head out. It's not all that bad of a release week here. I mean, it's not exactly the crazy busiest release week for movies, and it's not exactly the worst either. It's kind of in between. There's a lot of TV stuff, so a few indie titles, DC, stuff here, stuff there, some limited edition boutique label stuff. I mean, honestly, I didn't quite know what I was going to see here at this Walmart. But honestly, this Walmart has been slowly improving over time. We have been seeing more and more of the releases over time. I mean, this is a relatively on the slower side of a release week, but we still got to see stuff. I mean, they had the DC stuff. They had that war movie. They even have a weird Bible thumping comedy. You never know what you're gonna find, guys. And at this Walmart, it is sometimes still a gamble. Sometimes you really don't know, but overall, I do think it is improving, baby steps over time. But I am still happy to see some of the media here and some of the stuff they are putting out. It is well worth it indeed, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. All of the physical media weirdness and craziness and bonanza, well, a few. Not everything like Batwoman, but I still think we'll see it over time. But hey, we'll see what we can find at some of the other places. But I'm glad we at least got to see some of the media worth checking out this week. And any media is still worth it regardless. Hope you enjoyed it. Let's head to the next location and see what we can find. All right, everybody. We are at our second location. You guessed it, Target. But before we go in, I wanted to talk to you guys about something real quick. And I have kind of talked about it before, about streaming channels. But this is very curious to me. Now, about 3-4 years ago, 4 or 5 or so, I was living with one of my friends. We were roommates, and I'm sitting in my room, flipping through channels. We have cable, and I'm flipping through 200 odd channels, right? That we have. And I can't find a goddamn thing to watch. I can't find literally nothing to watch. And I'm thinking to myself, why the hell am I paying for cable when I can't find a single thing that's worth a damn to watch? And that's when I started to look into the whole idea of streaming. I got myself a Roku, and I learned about it all, and I'm very happy with what I've done, getting rid of cable. Because for me, the prices are skyrocketing, they're getting nuts, okay? But now I'm seeing such a different trend with streaming now. And I was reading this article about how prices are getting insane and we're dealing with so many streaming services and everything. And I kind of want to clue you in on how many streaming services there actually is, guys. And I was reading this article, and really interesting. So they were talking about there's Netflix, there's Hulu, there's Amazon Prime, there's Disney Plus, there's HBO Max, there's Peacock, there's Apple TV, there's the Criterion Channel, there's DC Universe. Oh my God, man, there's a ton of them. And the problem is that in order to watch all of the content that is coming out nowadays, all of the movies and TV shows that you're interested in, you have to literally subscribe to every single streaming service in order to get the full effect. And once that happens, you're literally paying the same price, if not more, for cable. Because when you include the internet access that you're paying for on top of the other stuff, of course, you know, they have, YouTube Premium and all this stuff. Oh, man. And here's the thing about it. There's 24 hours in a day. Some of that you're sleeping, other times you're working, family obligations, and then a small part of that you're actually trying to relax and watch some sort of media. And you have to really start picking and choosing what streaming services are actually worth it. And I remember when Disney Plus came out and everybody was shitting on Netflix. And they're like, well, Disney Plus is going to have everything, man. They are going to have all the back catalogs and everything. And they're right. They have all the back catalogs. The problem with the back catalogs is that once you go through that, it's great, but what's the new stuff? Well, they had Mandalorian. Great. And, like, you know, they're not pumping out new content over and over and over again, whereas Netflix, every single week, there's something coming out, man. They are always pumping out new content. Yes, they're taking content off of the platform, which really sucks, and I don't like that. But I guess if things gotta get on the platform, then I guess things gotta go too. Something like that. But I think you guys out there have to weigh the cost of what it's going to be worth for some of these streaming platforms. Like with Apple TV, yeah, there looks like some cool stuff, but do I want to pay the price for it? Do I want to pay the price for CBS All Access or some of these other streaming services? I think Paramount is going to have a streaming service at some point. It's like, I think that's why I like physical media, honestly, because once I own it, that's it. I don't have to worry about anything else. I don't have to worry about an extra cost or worrying about paying the bill for the month so I can watch the next season of, you know, what the hell, whatever it is. For me, I've really appreciated streaming, but I'm realizing that streaming has its own issues that it's dealing with, and it's cost. And as much as you want to get away from cable, boy, streaming is a whole different animal, is a whole different beast, man. Is it good? Is it bad? I think we're going to have to start to understand and start to realize what's important when dealing with our entertainment. What do you want? If you want family friendly, well, you go with Disney. If you want, all these random shows and all this random stuff, some cool original content, maybe Netflix. If you're looking for contemporary films and old school titles, maybe the Criterion Channel. If you're looking for all those crime shows and nurse stuff, well, maybe CBS All Access. I mean, you have to weigh your entertainment needs versus what the streaming services are doing. And that gets really difficult, guys. And I think we have to start to learn what value the entertainment is and how much we're willing to pay for it, because we're heading into really tricky times where I feel like if we don't sort of police ourselves in some ways in what we're spending, it's going to balloon again. And just like cable, it's going to get so ridiculous that you're just paying for shit that you don't even watch, man. I've dealt with that rabbit hole. It's tough to find what your true needs are, but if you really sort of look at it and break it down, then I think you guys will be good. But we're living in a time where it's very tricky, and you got to know the entertainment that you're watching and what it's worth to you, and especially the money value, because sometimes you only got a certain amount to spend, and what do you really want to spend it on exactly? It's very interesting, guys. Definitely let me know what you think about that one. In the meantime, well, with Target, it is a slower week. Not quite sure what we're going to have here. Hoping at least a couple things. Well, let's hope. Guess the only way to find out is to go inside, so let's check it out. All right, everybody, we are in at Target, and the first thing I'm seeing is they have the Blu-ray, DVD, and digital of Deathstroke, Knights and Dragons for $19.99. Now, what I was finding through my research is that there's been a lot of TV shows that have portrayed Deathstroke in certain ways, big roles, small roles, and there's been a lot of actors who have been involved in bringing Deathstroke to life. Ron Perlman has voiced the character, Will Arnett, Michael Chiklis, who voices him in this movie, does actually a really great job. But not only that, but he's also been portrayed on screen, small and big. Manu Bennett, I believe, portrayed him on Arrow. S.A. Morales portrayed him on Titans, if I'm not mistaken. And, of course, Joe Manganiello portrayed him in a really small scene at the end of Justice League. And I gotta admit, I was actually really pumped to see Joe Manganiello play the role, because I like the design of the costume. I love Joe Manganiello. I think he's a really good actor. And, it was kind of the promise of something really cool. Like, I believe he was actually supposed to be in that new Batman live-action movie that is coming next year, I believe. And because, obviously, they changed the script, and Ben Affleck was no longer directing it, and Matt Reeves is, they basically just cut Deathstroke completely out of it. I hear there's supposed to be sort of a Deathstroke live-action movie, just a standalone of him. I believe maybe Gareth Edwards is going to direct that or something, but that's sort of in development. Nobody really knows if it's going to happen. But he's an interesting character that has an interesting past and has been portrayed many different ways by many different actors, voice and in live action. And it's kind of interesting to see Deathstroke get his own live action movie if that happens. I wonder if they're going to portray it like they do the animated movie, which I think, again, worked really, really well, man. I'm kind of curious if you would like to see a Deathstroke live-action movie kind of portrayed in the same way that it is here. I'm always kind of curious about villains sort of coming to the forefront and having a movie of their own. It rarely, honestly, happens, but I think when it does, it's not been half bad. And I think with Deathstroke, the thing about it, there's so many really great villains in the DC catalog that I think Deathstroke kind of gets a little bit, I don't want to say forgotten, but maybe pushed to the side. And with a movie like this, I thought, oh man, a character that's not as, not well known, but very popular within pop culture, and you're giving him his own movie, but somehow it worked, man. And I thought Chickless did a great job. I think the animation is great. And I would, honestly, if they do it just like the movie, I would love to see a live action adaptation. I really honestly would. I mean, definitely let me know what you think about that one, guys. And then over here, I'm seeing they have the DVD of Military Wives for $16.99. Now, this must be one of the new releases that came out this week, but I've never heard of this title before. Huh. United They Sing with Kristen Scott Thomas. Feel Good Movie of the Year. What's this about? Military Wife centers on a group of women from different backgrounds whose partners are away serving in Afghanistan. Okay. Faced with the loved one's absences, they come together to form the very first Military Wives choir. Helping each other through. Actually sounds kind of pleasant and really heartwarming. These women who are dealing with the dilemma of having their husbands overseas and not knowing what's going to happen next. They sort of come together and support one another. Nice, not bad. An interesting synopsis. It actually doesn't look half bad to me, guys. And Kristen Scott Thomas, man, God, it's been so long since I've seen her in anything. She was in Four Weddings and a Funeral, The English Patient. I mean, she's done some decent stuff in the past. Nice to see her back doing stuff as well. Actually, looks like a pretty heartwarming tale. It doesn't look half bad, honestly. If you know much about it, definitely let me know. They have that. They also have the Blu-ray of The Outpost for $14.99. Now, I told you guys back at Walmart how I really, really was impressed with this movie. And I was especially impressed by Scott Eastwood. I thought Scott Eastwood did a really amazing, fantastic job, man. And he's an actor that is still really trying to break out. He had roles in movies like The Suicide Squad and Fast and the Furious 8 and a few other ones. He played Little Nobody in Fast and the Furious 8. Yeah, great name, right? And I know he's had some small roles in some Clint Eastwood films as well. I kind of feel bad for Scott Eastwood, and I don't know whether you guys do. He's kind of in his father's shadow, being the son of Clint Eastwood, and he's always, in some ways, trying to prove himself, and can't quite do it. And he hasn't really found that truly, breakout role that really solidifies him. I mean, he comes from a famous family. He's had a lot of opportunities that a lot of other actors haven't had. So I don't know about feeling completely sorry for him. I mean, he is still getting a paycheck. He's in these big movies, but he's always being compared to Clint. He's always having to have the bar at a certain level higher because he's the son of Clint. And you have to really understand something that's really interesting is because it's so different, him being a younger actor versus Clint was back in the day, because, Clint had the Westerns, and Hollywood was a much different place back then, and so Clint was able to make his niche, whereas Scott Eastwood hasn't quite been able to do that. Is he going to be the dramatic guy? Is he going to be the action guy? Is he going to be the Oscar-nominated actor that does all these prestige films? I mean, where is he exactly going to land? I'm not quite sure about that. I mean, he's been good in the background of a lot of movies, but he hasn't really broken out and having that really big role that people are, clamoring for him. I think with the right role, he can really break out, but he's in that area of having to prove himself with his famous parents, and there's a lot of actors who've been able to do that in the past. Like Jamie Lee has had to deal with that, and a few other people as well. I mean, he's still getting these big roles, he's still getting the paycheck, so do I feel really, really sorry for him? No, not really, but I do have to admit, though, that he's a really solid actor, and if given the right chance and the right opportunity, I think people are really going to notice his talent in a big bad way, and I think The Outpost really shows that a lot, man. Fantastic movie, man, and really great performances, especially from Scott Eastwood. Not bad, guys, and not bad so far. A few interesting titles. Let's see if they got anything else to show off. And now, being over in the TV releases, one more piece of media to check out. Finally got to check it out, and that is the complete first season of Batwoman, the Blu-ray digital for $31.99, the DVD for $26.99. Very nice that we're finally seeing this, man. A little more DC goodness. Now, I have watched some of the Batwoman episodes. I have not watched all of them, to be fair, guys. I gotta catch up on the rest of the episodes. I did watch a handful of them, probably at least like 10 of them, I would say, somewhere around there. But I was very curious about this one. You know, outside of all of the CW shows, you know, the Arrows and the Flashes and, you know, all of those ones, I was probably curious about this one the most because, to be fair, Batwoman has never really been in the forefront a lot. I mean, she's always been sort of on the back end of basically Batman. Batman's the star of the show, and Batwoman kind of is more in the background kind of type of thing. I mean, the last time I saw any sort of major adaptation of Batwoman was when she was in Batman and Robin. Alicia Silverstone had played the role. Do you remember those good old days of Alicia Silverstone playing Batgirl, Batwoman, that kind of type of deal? Like, it was kind of like, what? And they really didn't set her up all that well. And by the way, that movie did not do her any favors at all. If they were hoping for a spin-off, they were sadly mistaken, man. But I was curious about it. And honestly, I'm sort of mixed on this first season. I do think it's a good overall first season. I like some of the twists and turns. I think the action set pieces are actually pretty cool. I don't know whether it's Ruby Rose that's actually like doing the action, but I think the action and the stunts are actually pretty cool here. I like those sequences. I like the actual Batwoman costume. I think it actually looks really cool. I like the design of that. And I do like Ruby Rose in the role of Batwoman. I think she does a really solid job. Some of the season is a little bit dull, very predictable, typical CW stuff. And some of the storylines work and some of it doesn't. I will admit, I do like the villains in the first season. I think the villains are actually really cool. I think they're really badass and really interesting. I think for a first season, I think a lot of people were very skeptical about Batwoman, but I think for a first season, I think it works as well as you can expect it does. I mean, it's not Batman. Everybody wants Batman, but I think this is a pretty good substitute as far as the CW show is concerned. I think overall, it's not bad. It has its high points. It has its low points. It works as well as it possibly can because, you know, it's not as gritty as it could be because, again, it's a CW show. There's certain things that you want to keep for a teen audience and you don't want to go too dark or too out there. I think it's interestingly enough, but I think it could have been done a little bit better. But on the other hand, it could have been a hell of a lot worse. So it's kind of half and half for me. Again, I've only watched like a handful of episodes. I gotta definitely finish up. But I do know the general overall arc of the season. I think there is potential with this show. I do think there's a lot of potential. And I think if they do it the right way, I think a second season could be really cool. I wonder what you guys think about this show. Definitely let me know. But I went in with checked expectations, and I was happy with what I've seen so far of it. It's not bad, man. Give it a chance. If you like some of the CW stuff, and if you're a Batman fan, it could be a lot worse. Could be better, but I think you'll be pleased, though. Not bad, man. And not bad this week. Some interesting releases, some things that we hadn't seen, like Batwoman. Not half bad, guys. All right. Pretty decent this time around. let's head out. No, I was pleasantly surprised this time here at Target. I mean, okay, the bar is really low when it comes to Target, let's be real. But I think for the most part, they stuck the landing this time. I mean, this is not a big release week, and I always know that when that happens, Target really isn't carrying much. But this time, they actually surprised me. They actually did quite a bit of stuff, and not half bad this time around, man. A couple things that we didn't see over at the first store, so that's always a nice, pleasant surprise as well. Yeah, they had good variety, good selection. Not a lot of titles to show off this week, but I don't think anyone's really gonna have a lot to show off this week, anyways. So they're pretty much in the majority. But it's nice to see them carrying stock in. And trust me, we've been to Targets many times over many weeks where they've literally had nothing to show off. So this is a high water mark by far, guys. So not half bad. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Let's hit the next location. Hopefully we'll see some more physical media goodness. All right, everybody. We are at our third location, the second Walmart. We're going to go in and see if they got anything new worth checking out in that indie title B-movie goodness. But before we go in, I wanted to talk about a movie trailer with you guys, one that dropped, I believe, last week, and that is The Devil All the Time. Yes, the psychological thriller coming straight to Netflix. Netflix is putting out a lot of great stuff as of late. Is it just me, or, man, they're really hitting it out of the ballpark quite a lot, man. Now, this movie, I believe, is based off of a novel, and it is about this young man played by Tom Holland and all these sort of people that are converging into his life. This corrupt priest, this crooked cop, these criminals, and how he's literally trying to fight off the evil that is threatening him and his family. And man, I gotta tell you, I really love this trailer, man. I really honestly do. I think this is a really great trailer. I think it's really fantastic, man. And the cast here, Jesus Christ, the cast is amazing. Like I said, Tom Holland, you have Robert Pattinson, you have Jason Clarke, you have Sebastian Stan, you have Mia Wasikowska, Riley Keough, and so many others. Man, like they're not fucking around with this one. It looks really dark. It looks really personal to me, of just this young man's journey and, and what's going on inside his head. It looks fantastic. It honestly does, man. And I'm also really interested in this movie from the perspective of Tom Holland. And what I mean by that is, I like Tom Holland as an actor, but I'm not gonna lie, Tom Holland hasn't really proved himself all that much outside of the Spider-Man stuff. I want to see how good his acting can be when he's not playing Peter Parker, when he's really in a very meaty role, something very serious, something that can really test his acting ability. I'm really curious to see what he does with this role, man. I think Tom Holland can be a really great actor. I just really want him to try to prove himself, and I think this is a role that can really do it. I'm looking forward to this one, man. I gotta tell you, with all this COVID stuff and the coronavirus happening, sometimes you wonder what's really good as far as entertainment, because movie theaters are just slowly starting to get back. A lot of movies have been pushed back, so what's the best entertainment? And I gotta tell you, man, Netflix is really killing it. They're doing a lot of really great material out there, and if they keep putting out stuff like this, I'll still stay a subscriber to Netflix, man. I'm definitely excited for this one. Let me know if you guys are. In the meantime, let's head into the second Walmart and see what goodies we can find. All right, we are in at the second Walmart, and of course they've got Military Wise for $14.96, a Stroke for $19.96, the Outpost Blu-ray and DVD. They also have Bible thumping selfie dad himself, $9.96, obviously. And we also have the DVD of the 10th season of Blue Bloods. My God, 10 seasons. Jeez. Man. And Tom Selleck still has a beautiful stash. God bless the man. Wow, man. Shit, they got that. They got season 3 of SWAT. Jesus, already on season 3 of that show? Jeez, man, that's crazy. They have that. They also end up having the DVD of the 6th season of NCIS New Orleans for $39.96. Whoa, man. 6 seasons. Congratulations, man. You got a while to go before you end up catching up to NCIS. But if there's anybody I believe in Bakula. Oh yeah, baby. So there's got that there. And then on the other side here, I'm seeing some really unique and interesting titles. A few things we're checking out over on this side. I'm seeing they have the DVD of Ghosts of War for $12.96. Very interesting. What is this? You can't hide from yourself. Brenton Thwaites, Theo Rossi, Billy Zane. Interesting. What is this about? During the bleakest days of World War II, 5 battle-hardened soldiers were given a cake assignment to hold down a chateau in the French countryside formerly used by the Nazi command. Madness. Ooh, what is it? It's like demonic entities, or obviously ghosts. Wow, interesting title. Kind of mixing a war movie with like the horror ghostly element to it. I could dig this title. I could. This doesn't sound half bad to me, man. From the writer and director of The Butterfly Effect. You know, I gotta be honest with you. I really do enjoy The Butterfly Effect. I actually think, honestly, that's probably the best Ashton Kutcher movie ever. He's actually really awesome in it. So if this is the same guy that did Butterfly Effect, I would be down to giving this one a chance. I really like Brenton Thwaites. I think he's a really great young actor. Billy Zane is always his weird self. This doesn't look half bad, man. Ghosts of War. Sounds interesting. Then they also have the DVD of Darkness Falls for $12.96 with a badass Shawn Ashmore. Look at him, man. He got the crap kicked out of him. No laws, no limits. What is this one about? After his wife's suicide, Detective Jeff Anderson becomes convinced that she has been murdered. Obsessed with his investigation, he finds out that his wife was the victim of a team of father and son serial killers. Really? And sets out to stop them by all means necessary. Nice. That actually sounds pretty cool, man. A father and son serial killer team. And he's going after them. Damn. In badass Shawn Ashmore style. Well, I don't know about badass, but I mean, I like Shawn Ashmore, man. I mean, I like him from like the X-Men days. I mean, I really like him from that. He was actually on an episode of Fringe, which I really liked, man. Him and his brother, actually he has a twin brother, and they were on that show together. Really great episode, man. He's a good actor. He never rose to like prominent A-list, leading man status, but I think he's fine though. He's a decent actor, man. Can he pull off the badass cop stuff? Be interested to find out. Oh, it's not bad. Then they also have over here the DVD of The Terror Infamy, the complete second season from AMC for $14.96. Nice. I like the cover with her sort of with crying, the blood. I like that. That's nice, man. What is this one about? In The Terror Infamy, the second installment of producer, two Japanese Americans on the Southern California Toronto are menaced by a big mono or folkloric specter. Really? Suffering forced evictions and imprisonment after the attack on Pearl Harbor. Ooh. God, that sounds interesting. Man. You know, I don't have AMC, so it's very difficult for me to watch something like this. But I knew this was sort of an anthology series when they talked about the first season of The Terror. And honestly, I heard nothing but good things about the first season of The Terror. People really seemed to really, like, enjoy that season and really liked the premise and the storyline and the characters, and they kind of wanted to see where it went. And now it's like they're like this great anthology series where it's like they do like one story and then now they're going to a separate tale. Very interesting Japanese folklore. It sounds really intriguing. Some great mythology. Some interesting Japanese horror. Wow, they went in the complete opposite direction of the first season, and I'm really glad to see that. I'm always glad when they do like anthology TV shows, because some are really good. Like, I've heard nothing but good things about this one. And then you have Castle Rock, which second season was not as good, but this one is going for a totally different vibe than the first season. Whereas in Castle Rock, they were kind of going for a little bit of the same vibe. I'd be interested to see how this is. Like I said, the first season got rave reviews. So you guys definitely got to let me know how this is, man. It looks really interesting to me, I'm not gonna lie. Huh. Really interesting titles over here, man. Not bad. Curious to see what else they got. And then over on this side, guys, some more really great indie stuff to check out, man. And the first thing I'm seeing over here is they have a Shudder exclusive for Prevenge for $9.96. Something tells me she cannot be trusted. Killing for Two. Oh, very nice. Now, I got a chance to actually watch this on Amazon Prime. Why? Well, I actually kind of like the cover. I really do. You know, this woman who's pregnant, which should be a joyous occasion, and it should be a wonderful time in her life, and, well, it's anything but. Let's put it that way, guys. Yeah, so like I said, it is about Ruth, who she's getting these sort of messages from her unborn baby telling her to kill, and it's sort of her sort of struggle in trying not to do it, but yet having the hunger to kill and can't deny her baby's wishes. It's a kind of a weird movie, I'm not gonna lie, man. What I will be honest with you, though, it has some good stuff to it. I mean, the kills are not bad. I mean, for a pregnant woman attacking people and killing them, it ain't half bad, man. What I will say is that the movie is rather on the boring side. I mean, the kills are really cool and they're exciting when she does it and she starts hearing the voices of her unborn baby, but in between those, you're kind of waiting for more of the killing to happen. That's what you're doing. It's not really all that exciting outside of the kills and whatnot. It kind of reminds me of, there's another movie that came out years ago called Grace. And that's about a woman that is doing unspeakable things and killing people for her unborn baby. It's a much different movie than Prevenge is, but it kind of reminded me of that a little bit. It's not a bad movie. I think Grace is a much better film. If you've never seen that one, definitely check it out. It's got some clever moments. It is a little bit demented, but it's a little on the boring side too. It's about an hour and a half, a little less than an hour and a half. Like I said, the kills are really cool, but in between, it's a real slog to get through, man. It's a cool idea, cool premise, but I was hoping it was going to be more like a horror comedy, and it didn't really turn out to be that way. It still has some unique stuff to it, but I think I'll pass on this demented woman and a really creepy baby. And then I'm seeing they have open 24 hours. Welcome to the graveyard shift. Pray you never run out of gas. Not bad cover. Look at that. Ooh. Wonder what the hell's going on here. Don't Breathe meets House of the Devil. Okay. A paranoid, delusional woman, Mary White, has just been released from a mental hospital for setting her serial killer boyfriend on fire. Okay, maybe she deserved to be in a mental facility? Mary suffered from severe paranoid hallucinations. Her boyfriend is the brutal serial killer known as the Rain Ripper. Okay, maybe she doesn't deserve to be in a mental institution. He enjoyed murdering people and making Mary want her, let alone to her own devices or paranoia. Oh, interesting. So is it like all in her head? Or is he back, like, stalking her and killing everyone around her? Ooh, I'm kind of curious, not gonna lie, man. Very interesting. Sort of a killer on the loose, or a woman losing her mind? Maybe both? I don't know. It looks kind of interesting. I like sort of these killer on the loose movies. You know, it all started back in the day for me when I watched something like Halloween. And him escaping the institution and going out after Laurie and everything. And it was love at first sight. I'm like, oh my God, I love this genre. And there's so many really great flicks within it. So this is kind of taking a page out of other sort of slashers and killers on the loose type of movies. But the Rain Ripper, she sounds pretty decent. Huh. If you guys know anything about this, definitely let me know. Open 24 hours. Actually looks really good. They have that. They also have the DVD of Bad Nun, Deadly Vows. Ooh, look at that creepy nun. A world of unholy secrets. Oh, look at this. Say your prayers, or she'll say them for you. Oh, look at that. Bad Nun, Deadly Vows. What is this? Catherine and her family looking for a fresh start, move into an old converted church in the country. However, their hopes for a peaceful new life are soon dashed. Why, if you're looking for a fresh start, do you move into an old converted church? You know, get a startup home or a fucking apartment. I don't care. An abandoned church? The fuck? Oh, the nun comes back, and she plans to release them of their sins permanently. Oh, a killer nun on the loose. Very nice. Oh my God. You know, I gotta be honest, man. Like I have seen so many indie B-movie killer nun flicks over the years doing these, man. It's almost like a subgenre of itself, like killer demonic nuns. Like it's a whole thing, dude. There's so many of them, man. My God. Like nunsploitation to the max, man. Whoa. It kind of looks creepy and interesting. If you like your nuns on the killer side, I don't know, definitely give this one a look. Oh, it doesn't look half bad, honestly. They got that. They also have the DVD of Vampire War. Look at this. Oh, look at that cover. That's great. Look at that evil looking vampire, man. The ultimate battle begins. I like that cover, man. That cover is really great. With those red eyes, man. Look at that. That's really cool. A new bloodline will conquer. After a series of mysterious killings in the German countryside, it is discovered that vampires with origins in the Middle Ages are to blame for the attacks, okay? The condemned vampire clan leader and his followers created a new master to replace him, one to rule over the present day unless he and his minions can be stopped by a group of modern vampire killers. The vampire killers are going against the vampires in Vampire War. You know, Man, do you remember those vampire killers in Blade Trinity? You know, Jessica Biel, Ryan Reynolds, Patton Oswalt, and all those people. It kind of reminds me of like them, that group of vampire killers going up against vampires, and it's sort of like sort of the fight with the vamps, and you know, fighting to free the world of like their treacherous evil or something. Look, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't exactly like Blade Trinity, nor did I like those vampire killers, so I hope these ones are a hell of a lot more effective than the ones in that movie. A tribute to movies like Near Dark or The Terminator. Boy, you better hope it's as good as Near Dark or Terminator, because those movies are fantastic, man. Vampire War. It might be on the cheapo side, guys, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you know, vampires versus vampire hunters is a good idea. It's a good concept. It's been done to death. Blade has done it. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. There's been a few others that have done it, but some are better than others. I'm not quite sure about this one, though. I like the concept, though. Interesting. That they also have A Dog's Courage, the DVD. Embark on a great journey. Okay, what is this exactly? Great for all ages. Jacob, a feisty and playful dog abandoned by his owners, joins a pack of strays and embarks on a journey filled with fun adventures and life lessons in their pursuit to find a new and loving home. Before they go to the new home, I don't know, maybe check for rabies? Huh? Fleas? Ticks? You know, heartworms? You know, just saying. I mean, you know, just because you're having a fun adventure with your other stray and filthy dogs out there, you know, maybe go to the kennel first, get washed up, make a nice first impression to the owners, you know, shit like that, man. I love dogs, dude. I honestly love dogs, and I love dog movies, and this is more on the animated side, but there is some animated dog movies that I like Rover Dangerfield and All Dogs Go to Heaven, stuff like that. It looks fine. Something more for kids, but anything that gets kids to love dogs, I'm all for, man. It doesn't look half bad. Could be unique for all you dog lovers out there. Then over here I'm seeing they have the DVD of The Barge People. Oh, very nice. No one escapes. Well, when it comes to that creepy fucker, you're damn right no one escapes. Oh, man. I got a chance to watch this one on Amazon Prime, and primarily because of the cover, man. I'm telling you, that is one creepy and weird fucker, man, and I wanted to know all about it. The movie is basically about these two couples that go on this sort of weekend away in the countryside, and they eventually are in a survival mode against these flesh-eating mutants and these hillbillies that are trying to capture them and kill them and eat their flesh. Okay, I actually really enjoyed The Barge People. I'm not gonna lie, man. I honestly think this is a pretty fun flick. It really honestly is. It starts off kind of slow, and over time it does pick up. But I tell you, man, when it picks up in a big bad way. It does a really, really great job of the atmosphere, and it really goes out of its way, I think, to really make a great, like, thrilling adrenaline ride. Does a really great job at it. I'm not gonna lie. And I gotta admit, it kind of is like a mix between the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, with sort of these hillbillies that are attacking them, meets it kind of meets Chud. because they kind of look a little bit like chud creatures. If you kind of look at with the eyes and sort of the way it almost looks like weird chud-like mutants. It looks so odd to me, man. But the mix kind of works, man. And these mutants are really effective. They're really brutal, and they just start eating the flesh. It doesn't matter whether, like, you're still alive. It doesn't matter if you're running away. It doesn't matter if you're, like, in a position where, like, you're surrendering. They don't give a flying fuck, man. All they want is what's on your bones, man. That's all they care about. It's really good, man. I really like it. And it has a dark ending, too, man. That movie is dark. It's like an hour and 19 minutes, so it's not even an hour and a half, man. But, boy, is it dark. It's brutal. I like the creatures here. I think the designs are really cool. Like, yeah, man, I had a fun time with this flick. This was really good. You know, it's not the best sort of, like, flesh-eating mutant movie of all time, but damn, did I have a fun time with this. This is great. Yeah, definitely look up the Barge people. I had a good time with this. Then over here I'm seeing they have Infestation. Look at this cover. It's a nice cover, man. I like that. If you hear them coming, it's already too late. Oh, great. Look at that. Awesome. Very nice. Andy's the resident skeptic on a radio program devoted to UFO sightings, alien theories, and unexplained phenomena. They didn't believe when strange sounds again coming from the sky and the world. And he's... Oh, interesting. So she gets taken by the aliens? Or there's some sort of weird alien sort of war that's going on? Like they're taking over the planet? I'm not quite sure what's going on, because the cover looks very much like there's an alien invasion happening, but this has more of like a thing of like she's been taken and she has to discover why she was taken and the conspiracies behind it. Maybe they're like they're interconnected. I don't know. It looks kind of interesting to me. The cover looks really great, man. I love the cover, dude. It looks absolutely awesome. It might be kind of cheapo though with like the effects, but it's an interesting idea, man. It kind of reminded me a lot of Proximity, actually. It reminds me a lot of that. Like, Proximity was really good, man. So if it's half as good as Proximity, I would kind of be interested in that. I don't know, but the effects are looking kind of cheesy, but man, it does look fun though. And the cover, man, God. There's so many great covers to movies that are really shitty. This might be another one in the lot. Oh, not bad. They do have that. They also have the DVD of Behind the Line, Escape to Dunkirk. Oh, this looks interesting. Nice war-torn cover right there. The greatest prison break of World War II. Man, there is so many sort of untold tales from World War II. I keep on saying that, but it's like we're finding more and more unique tales from World War II. Occupied France, 1940. Nazi commander discovers one of his prisoners. Oh, okay. Forces him to fight for his company's entertainment. Oh, so it's like a boxing movie mixed with a war film, mixed with sort of escaping from prison flick, all set around, obviously, you know, the ravages of World War II. I've never heard of this story, but then again, I'm really always fascinated by World War II. I'm fascinated by the stories of World War II and the heroism of it and just the spectacular tales that went on during that time. And there's so many really great movies about World War II. This is an interesting story, an interesting idea, if done well. There's some of these war movies that go straight to DVD that are really on the kind of crappy side. Not sure where this one lands, but it's a good idea, though. Not sure about this one, but might be worth looking into, especially if you like war flicks. Now, what in the world is this? Cannibal Corpse Killers. Look at that, man. What a weird and odd title, man. And look at that cover. What the hell does it say? Highly recommended for any fan of post-apocalyptic stuff, gore films, and zombie films. The world has went straight to hell. Damn right it did. Whoa. Kind of looks like the world after 2020. The bastard child of a zombie film and the Road Warrior. This is about. In a decaying America 20 years after an apocalyptic event, Pike leads Ruby, Slim, Scar, and Boots. Okay, well, where the hell is Simba? Through the wasteland towards the town of Jawbone in hopes of finding shelter from the evil magistrate. Well, I gotta admit, it does look like the bastard love child of a zombie film and like the world of Mad Max, so they're not wrong. But this looks really cheap, man. I'm not gonna lie. This looks, I mean, with a title like Cannibal Corpse Killers, would you expect anything less? Oh my god, this thing looks like B-movie trash written all over it, baby. And somehow I am oddly intrigued. Oh god, it would be so bad, I imagine, but I'm not gonna lie, it's probably one of those movies where you just at least have to watch it once just to say, like, in conversation with somebody, like, by the way, I've watched Cannibal Corpse Killers. Oh my god, this looks so bad. Oh my god. There is a lot of really interesting zombie films out there, a lot of really interesting mixes. Like, they mix a zombie film with, you know, a post-apocalyptic flick like this, or a zombie film with like a love story. Like, there's a lot of different mixes. Good luck to Cannibal Corpse Killers. I hope it's good. With a cover like that, I hope it doesn't disappoint, but something tells me you're in for one hell of a B-movie cheese ride. And it'll definitely be a bumpy one for sure. Yikes. Definitely let me know what you think of Cannibal Corpse Killers. I'll give them credit for something. That's one hell of a title, and it definitely at least is an interest. And trust me, out of all these things, this is definitely a title that will definitely perk people's interest. That's for damn sure. Then over here, I'm seeing they have the Shudder original DVD of The Orphans for $9.96. Look at this. This is interesting. Oh, I like that cover. Some creepy person with a bell. Okay. I got a fever, and the only prescription is more bell. Deliciously creepy. After Minnie's mother dies from a mysterious illness, her ghost begins to appear to the house, terrorizing the family. She lurks in the hallways and calls out to them at night. To protect her little brothers, Rennie traces back the roots of evil. Their mother has been... Oh! And just... Oh, she wants to take one of them. Oh, shit. Wow, that's actually a really interesting synopsis, man. That actually kind of has me intrigued. Like, she's haunting them, but she's only haunting them to take one of them. Not to like, sort of inhabit their spirit or something, or their body. That does sound really creepy, man. I gotta tell you, Shudder, and I gotta watch more Shudder. They make some really unique and interesting horror stuff. They're one of, I consider Shudder and sort of Blumhouse, two of the companies that are really doing unique stuff in the horror genre. Yeah, some of it is kind of recycled, but I gotta admit, at least they're trying, man. I like some of the imagery. It does look creepy. Not bad. Then over here, I'm seeing they have Batwoman here for $27.96. They also have Emma 2? Dance spectacular? The Wiggles. What the hell is this? There once was a girl who loved dance. She danced from Australia to France. She always wore bows, even on her little toes, and they rang every time she pranced. Her name is Emma, you see. She shares her dancing with glee. From tap to ballet, join in and jeté in this spectacular DVD. What motherfucker? What motherfucker came up with that backline? Who did it? Because I will give them money. I will give them my next paycheck. That is fantastic. That is such great cheesiness. Oh my god, that is amazing. That is so great. It rhymes. It's kind of cute. Well, it's cheesy, but then again, this ain't my type of thing. The Wiggles. Okay, look, I'm not gonna lie. I've never heard of the Wiggles. I hope you guys won't kill me. I've never heard of it. Look, I'm a 38-year-old man. Do you think I would really have heard of the Wiggles unless I had kids? And that's not the case. Emma 2 Dance Spectacular. Yeah, this is definitely for kids. This ain't for me, man. This is weird and cheesy, but I don't know, man. I hope I'm not missing out on the Wiggles fun. Is it just weird for like kids? Or is it kind of fun? Is it cheesy? What in the fuck is this? Do people actually buy this shit? Well, it's definitely not for me, man, but whatever. And the one other thing I'm seeing over here is they have a Kenny Rogers biography. Very interesting. From A&E. Country Music, Kenny Rogers. You got to know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em, know when to walk away, know when to run. You better count your blessings, sitting at the table. Okay, that's all the lyrics that I really know. Look, man, I was never really a country music guy. I mean, to be honest with you, there is some country music that I like. Things like from the Urban Cowboy soundtrack, and some of the modern day stuff is not outright terrible, but I've never really been a huge fan of country music. Not to say it isn't good, just it's not my bag, baby. But that being said, look, Kenny Rogers is iconic, man. This guy made some really great, iconic country music, especially with Dolly Parton. He's extremely well loved, extremely well admired. He's a legend in the music industry. Sure, why not make a biography? Sure, makes sense to me, man. I'm actually kind of curious they have never made actually like a biopic of Kenny Rogers. I mean, they made a biopic of everybody else. Why not Kenny? Or maybe that might be down the road. Interesting. I guess if you love Kenny Rogers and old school country music, why not check that out? Well, my God, I got to admit, man, there is some amazing releases this week here. I'm so shocked, dude. I wasn't expecting half of this shit, especially on a slow release week. But wow, so much indie goodness, man. My heart can't contain the excitement. Pretty damn good. Let's head out. I am thoroughly impressed by the titles that this sucking Walmart has. Oh my fucking God, guys. You know, it is still a slow release week, granted. But sometimes you are granted with like an experience that'll blow your fucking mind away. How many titles and releases they have at one location. I mean, there is so much B-movie cheese wrapped up in all those releases. Oh, my heart's aflutter, guys. Oh, fantastic, baby. Oh my God, I was so not expecting this. I was like, okay, there's a few really interesting releases, but that's it. And usually not many indie titles, considering it's a slow release week, but my God, this second Walmart literally saved the goddamn day, man. It is absolutely amazing. It is awesome. So much wonderful goodness right there, dude. So fantastic. My God, man. I was blown away by how many indie titles came out this week and how many this Walmart is supplying. I tell you, I love coming in second Walmart, dude. I do. They might not always love me coming in here, but god damn do I love checking out the media here, dude. Some really great cheesy goodness to dive into. Some of them are really great. Some of them not so much, but oh so worth looking at and checking out, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I definitely did. Let's head to the next location, and hopefully more physical media goodness is on the way. All right, everybody, we are at our fourth and final location, and I think you know what that is. Yes, it is none other than the Beast, Best Buy, baby. And so we're gonna go in here and check out what they got. Like I said, it's a slow week, and some of the stores haven't had a lot of media to show off, and some have had way more than I expected. Not quite sure what Best Buy is going to have in store for us, but we won't know until we check it out. So let's head inside, give it a look. All right, everybody, we are in at Best Buy, and there's not a lot of stuff to show off this week, but there's a few things at least. And the first thing I'm seeing is they do have a SWAT Season 3 for $27.99. Yeah, not really my thing, guys. Camaraderies, catching the bad guys, saving the day, and doing it all over again the next day. The SWAT way. Yeah, I see. Just like with something like NCIS and some of the other stuff, it's very paint by numbers. I've always sort of said this stuff is paint by numbers, but people really like that. And I think for me, and I don't know if you guys agree or not, I think that people like safe television. I really do. It's kind of like comfort food. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you know, they save the day and they're doing the same thing, and you know, they catch the bad guy and everything's good at the end of the episode, and we go on to the next thing and they do the same thing. It's the same thing over and over again. And for a while, when I was a kid, I used to like that stuff. And then I broke out and watched a lot more unique television shows and movies, and I sort of broadened my horizon. But I can see why people like it. It's formulaic, it's easy to digest, and you know, at the end of the day, you feel good about watching it. You know, it's not complicated. You don't got a mythology and a mystery to deal with, and crazy creatures and aliens and shit. You just have to deal with a team of SWAT people, and maybe they have complicated romances. Okay, I think it's pretty easy. Like I said, I'm not much about the sort of more digestible stuff anymore. I used to be, but this stuff is just paint by numbers. I'm long past it, but I can understand why people do like it, though. They do have that. They also have the Blu-ray of The Outpost for $14.99. Now, this movie is along the lines of a lot of these type of, you know, a band of brothers that are in the war zone together and fighting for freedom. There's a ton of movies out there. You know, I was thinking of movies like 12 Strong with Chris Hemsworth, Black Hawk Down, which is really fantastic. If you guys have never catched Black Hawk Down, highly recommend that one. That one is amazing. Jarhead, at least the first Jarhead with Gyllenhaal, is really fantastic. This one definitely reminded me probably the most of Jarhead. But there's another one that I was really thinking of too, and I'm not sure whether you guys really, I mean, I'm sure you remember it, but I'm not really sure whether it goes in this category or not. Is Three Kings with Wahlberg and Clooney and Ice Cube. Great flick, man. about them in a war-torn area and, surviving the elements, but also like this, like they're searching for like gold and trying to steal it. So it is different than the Outpost or other movies like that, but it still has that same type of feel to it. I really like these type of movies, man. I have a hell of a lot of love and honor for the servicemen who protect us every single day of our lives and can continue to fight for freedom, and I really honestly appreciate that so much, man. And it's movies like this that really open my eyes to the sacrifices that these people actually make. It's a fantastic story, and usually a lot of these straight to DVD and Blu-ray movies are not that good. A lot of them actually are kind of chintzy, and they don't really portray war to its fullest and the battles that these people do. But The Outpost really blew me away. And like I said, if you like those movies in the vein of Jarhead and Three Kings and Black Hawk Down, this is among some of the best. It honestly is absolutely amazing, man. And some decent special features as well. Not bad. All right. Definitely give this one a look, man. I tell you, like I said, it's over 2 hours. It's an investment, but if you love these war movies, these sort of Band of Brothers type of flicks, definitely get up on this, man. So good. Then the next thing I'm seeing over here is they have the Blu-ray digital of Batwoman, the complete first season, for $29.99. Now, let's talk about Ruby Rose, shall we? Let's talk about that wonderful woman herself, Ruby Rose. Like I said earlier, I liked her in this role. I thought she was really good. But unfortunately, she's not coming back for the second season, guys. I honestly don't really know what happened exactly. I know there was a lot of controversy before this ever aired when they were casting it, and when the casting of Ruby Rose came out, it was very controversial. I think there was a lot of people really loving the choice, and there was a lot of people that frankly really hated it, and I mean hated it. They came out and they were spitting vitriol like you wouldn't believe. Ruby Rose, I think, had to get off of Twitter or something like that. And I heard that Ruby Rose honestly didn't have the greatest time doing this, that it was much more of a commitment than she wanted it to be. I like Ruby Rose as an actress. She's not bad. She's never made the biggest impression on me. I mean, she was decent in movies like The Meg and John Wick Chapter 2 and Triple X, The Return of Xander Cage. She was also in Resident Evil, The Final Chapter. I mean, she's done some decent work, but she's always sort of more like the side chick. She's never the front and center woman. And she's always, to me, rang as sort of like, in most of her roles, as sort of like the hipster chick. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's sort of how it registers to me. And I think this was the first time that she was ever fully in the lead of something, really in it day in and day out, and the commitment that it really takes to do this. Because, TV is a commitment, man. It ain't like movies where you're on set for maybe, 20 to 30 days. You go on to the new role, you're done. There's a lot of commitment here. There's a lot you have to take on it. I don't think she was really prepared for that. Now, unfortunately, she's gone and she's not coming back, and it's really unfortunate, guys. But I do have to admit, though, that I'm interested to see where they go with the second season, because I think there's some really great things that they could do with the second season, bringing in somebody new. I kind of wish that she wouldn't have taken the role if she wasn't really interested in staying for the long haul, because now they have to reestablish another chick, and they have to really go out of their way to reinvent the character again, and it really sucks. But honestly, though, I still think she did a good job, and I still think it's honestly a worthy show to check out. I mean, the dynamics are going to change in the second season, but she did a really great job regardless, and she's a really fantastic actress in this piece. And even though she won't be around it anymore on the show, I still give her props for doing this. And I think she brought Batwoman to a new generation to enjoy, and I think that's a good thing. So, whether you like her or not, I think you do have to appreciate the fact that, she, I think, brought this character back to some sort of iconic status, and that can only be a good thing, right? So, I think it's still worthy to dive into this, and whatever Ruby Rose does next, I hope she does a really great job, but I hope she understands that if you want to stay the side chick all the time, stay the side chick. But if you want to have some really great roles, then you're going to have to put in the effort and the work. And Batwoman took work, and I don't think she was ready for it. A shame, because I think she did a really good job. But, on to the next chick. And the other thing I'm seeing is they have the Blu-ray of The Terror, Infamy, the complete second season for $19.99. And I gotta admit, like I said earlier, that plot is really great, man. It really seems very mysterious. And I like that they went with a totally different concept and idea, going with this Japanese folklore. It seems really fascinating to me, man. And I'm always very curious about Japanese horror, because I think the Japanese, man, they do some of the most really fascinating horror that you have ever seen. I mean, of course, you talk about the J-horror, but you know what this actually reminds me of? It reminds me of a Masters of Horror episode. I think you guys might know what I'm talking about. If not, definitely look it up. It's a Takashi Miike episode called Imprint. And, in fact, it actually never officially aired as part of the Masters of Horror series. It actually never did, guys, because I guess for the censors and everything, it was too extreme for the censors and the network to actually air, so they never aired it. I think it got a standalone DVD, something like that, but it's a really fascinating Japanese horror tale about this sort of guy that comes back into this Japanese village for this woman that he loved, and sort of what he finds and what he has to do to get her is just the horror of that. It's really fascinating, man. And just Japanese horror in general, whether it's Audition or, like I said, that J-horror stuff like The Ring and The Grudge, some of that really fantastic stuff that only the Japanese, man, I'll tell you, the Japanese are some fucked up individuals, man. They come up with some really crazy and wild ideas, but it's really always fascinating and really always amazing, man. And I love diving into it, and I definitely got to dive into more Japanese horror, but this looks really interesting, and I got to definitely check this out, because sometimes anthologies are really good, and other times they're on the weak side, but I heard nothing but really good things about the first season, so I might have to at least check this out at some point if I can. It's on AMC, so not sure if I'll ever get a chance to, but I am going to look into it. And honestly, if you ever get a chance, Japanese horror, man, that is some fantastic and weird stuff, man. But boy, it is fucked up, but in the most best way possible, man. Really fantastic, dude. Definitely check out some interesting Japanese horror. And I'm sure The Terror is right along with it. Very interesting. Not bad. Other than that, I have to admit, that's all that we get this week. Not a lot of stuff here at the Beast. Thought we'd see more, but I guess not. Well, sometimes good weeks, sometimes bad weeks, but hey, at least we saw something. Alright, let's head out. A little underwhelming on the Best Buy side here, guys. I mean, there's still some stuff to check out, but I was expecting a little bit more. I mean, that Deathstroke movie is out, and I was hoping to see it here. At least they didn't have it here at my Best Buy, but at the same time, like, usually when these DC animated films are out on Blu-ray and DVD, there's usually at least some exclusive that we've seen, whether it's like some sort of like keychain or Funko Pop or Steelbook. Nothing for this one, which is kind of crazy. Usually we see some sort of exclusive, but not this time around, not at any of the stores. I was hoping we would, but Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. You guys know that, man. I mean, still some decent stuff, but again, this is a slow week. But as we've seen this time around, some stores have actually done better than others. When there's a slow release week, you don't really know exactly what you're going to get with any of the stores. I've been pleasantly pleased with some and a little underwhelmed at others. You never know what you're going to see until you do the out and about and actually go and check out the media. And hey, sometimes, as I said, win, lose, no matter what, checking out the media is always cool. You guys know that. So even though an underwhelming week for Best Buy, still some cool stuff to check out regardless. Not half bad, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Let's finally head home and finish the video. Alright, everybody. That'll do it for the Blu-ray and DVD out and about video this week. And man, what a great and wild ride it is every single week with these videos, man. And I have learned to really go with the flow quite a bit when doing these. Because, you know, you can look at Blu-ray.com all you want, and you can look at the release schedule, and you can see what's coming out, but until you really go into these stores and really experience it firsthand, that's when you really get to see what's coming out week in and week out, man. And I don't know what I'm going to see at these stores. It's all a crapshoot to me. And this was a really great week of just the wide spectrum of seeing sometimes just a little bit of media, sometimes a huge bonanza of titles, and then a little disappointment as well. I mean, you know, I've learned to just, you know, just go with it and have fun and dissect the titles and the releases and just kind of chill out and check out the media. And it's a fun adventure, it's a fun ride, whether it's a big release week or a small release week. There's still unique stuff to find every single time you do these. And I think that's why I love them as much as I do, because, you know, yeah, you'll get to see the normal stuff, but sometimes you get to see some really unique and weird things, and it makes the adventure even more worth it, man. So, you know, this Out and About had everything, and it's just the wide spectrum of you know, not knowing what you're walking into and then finding some cool stuff along the way. I always really enjoy it, guys. I hope you did too. And I hope you picked up something good this week. I mean, yeah, there's, you know, not a lot this week, but there was some, you know, boutique label titles to be released. Of course, you know, you have obviously a lot of those indie titles as well, some TV stuff, so a lot of stuff generally to dive into for the most part. Hope you guys picked up something good. If you did, definitely let me know. As far as I'm concerned, well, I got one package in the mail. Now, if you watched the live stream at the end of last week, then you'll know what this box is. But if you don't, well, this is the package that I got in the mail from Severin Films. My Severin film package finally came in the mail. And oh baby, this is a good one. Not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 titles in this bad boy right here, plus a few goodies as well. Boy, I have in this box 2 Fulci horror films. I have a really sort of weird horror flick that was reviewed by Red Ladder Media a long time ago, and I have been dying to pick it up ever since. Another one that's a really, really sinister horror movie, really sort of vile and repulsive, and it's one that's been on my bucket list for a little while, and I finally decided to get that. And a little shot on video horror sex comedy? Some really weird stuff I got in the mail, guys. And I even picked up a horror shirt as well. Some really interesting stuff in this package, man. Finally got it in the mail. I am so happy with this. Now, there is actually a 6th title that I got from Severin as well that is not in this package that hopefully will be coming fairly soon to me, but some good horror weirdness in this package. I always love getting some cool stuff from Severin, and this package is definitely no exception. Some awesome stuff here, guys. Really cool. But you will not get to find out exactly what I picked up until my Blu-ray pickup video for August, which will drop next month. It'll show off all the titles that I got. And it's going to be a good one, man. Some limited editions, collector's editions, out-of-print titles, some really weird horror, retro, 80s, 90s. I always get some really unique and some really weird stuff. You guys know it, and August is no exception, guys. It's going to be a good one, so definitely stay tuned. And as far as this upcoming week or two is going to be concerned, I was actually going to put out the Blu-ray pickup video this week. However, that is getting postponed till next week, and for good reason, because this weekend you are going to get a brand new movie hunting video. This is definitely a good one. A lot of really unique titles, and it's a video that you guys are always looking forward to. So that is taking precedent this weekend. So the Blu-ray pickup video for July, which will come out in a couple weeks, the movie hunting video this weekend, and I may try to fit in a live stream as well. A lot of really good stuff is coming, guys, so definitely stay tuned to that. It's a good time when there's a lot of media to show off, and within the next 2 weeks, I think you guys are really going to enjoy some of the videos that I'll be putting out. And before I let you guys go, this is a topic that I definitely wanted to talk about, and a lot of you guys have asked me to comment on. Now, there is a story that's been floating around that Disney has decided to abandon the 4K format. Okay, not entirely, but they basically are no longer going to release any of their catalog titles. That includes themselves, their own company, and 20th Century Fox's catalog titles as well. None of those titles are coming on 4K. The last 2 catalog titles that will be released will be Hocus Pocus and Home Alone. And those are the only other 4K back catalog titles that are going to come out. After that, they're done. You will still see Star Wars, you will still see Marvel, you will still see Pixar, you will still see a lot of those newer releases get the 4K love, but none of the back catalog stuff. And that freaked out a lot of people. Like, everybody was like really up in arms, and they're like, oh my god, they're abandoning the format. However, there is a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, I should say, because there was actually a Disney spokesperson that came out and ended up saying, well, no, that's not true. That's overblown. That's not going to happen. And they have a quote that I ended up checking out. And the quote that this spokesperson from Disney says is that there are no plans to discontinue releases in a particular format. We evaluate each release on a case-by-case basis and pursue the best strategy to bring our content into consumer homes across platforms that meet a variety of demands. Now, this original report has been backed up by very credible sources, and this spokesperson from Disney has denied that. Now, do you believe the original source, or do you believe Disney? Either way, think about this for a second. You know, one of my great subscribers, George, ended up sending me a great little pie chart that talked about the share from the market of every single format recently. 4K, DVD, Blu-ray. And DVDs are still dominating the market in a big bad way. Blu-ray has a decent share, and 4K is way low. And I mean way low. The market for 4K is not as big as you really think it is. I'm not saying that those titles don't deserve to come onto the format. I mean, there's a lot of great Fox titles that have never seen the light of 4K, and in Disney's hands may or may not do it. You look at Mrs. Doubtfire. You look at Fight Club. So many wonderful titles that still have not gotten onto the 4K format. But here's the thing about it. Disney never had any intentions to really care about any of these Fox titles. They wanted the properties. They wanted the rights to them. And a lot of these Fox titles, and I'm not even talking about the big ones. I'm talking about the more unknown ones, the ones that are not as well known and are just going to languish in obscurity. Those ones are never going to see the light of day ever again, man. There is an attempt by Disney to lock down these titles. And if I were you guys, any of those Fox titles that you are interested in, get them now. Get them on Blu-ray, get them on DVD. I know you guys want to fight for 4K, and I understand you do, and I get it. But at a certain point, you got to understand that if these titles are out in the physical media form as DVD and Blu-ray, some of those titles may only be in that format. And that's it. You have to understand that Disney has no interest in working with other companies. They have no interest in releasing back catalog stuff. Yes, this spokesperson did say it's a case-by-case basis. So what does that mean? Well, it means that they're going to look at a title like Mrs. Doubtfire. Okay, if it comes on 4K, it's going to make us a lot of money because it's Mrs. Doubtfire. Okay, Platoon, or something like that. Oh, well, wow, that's really great title. It's going to sell. Fight Club, it's going to sell. But then they look at some of those other Fox titles, like, let's say, Predator 2. And they're like, well, Predator 2? Well, look at the sheets here. Well, it didn't sell that well. I mean, why would we invest in 4K on it? And there's so many titles like that. The problem with the 4K format, and I think Disney understands this, to be fair, is that the 4K format has not been kind to back catalog titles. There is a lot of 4K editions out there that people were clamoring for and frankly did not live up to the hype. You look at Evil Dead on 4K, you look at Halloween on 4K, and you look at a lot of these other titles that were very highly anticipated. You look at the reviews, you look at people's opinions, and those discs are not as well done. In fact, the Blu-ray looks better. Why? Because these older films unfortunately don't benefit to the 4K standard like the new releases do. And I think Disney understands that. They understand the marketplace of something like Home Alone, which is a huge title. It's going to sell the ducats. It's going to make the money. Hocus Pocus, beloved title. It's going to make the money. They saw the demand when those other editions on Blu-ray came out not too long back. They see the demand. They know it. And they're going to take advantage of it. At the end of the day, Disney's a company. What do you think they want to do? They want to make money. And if they see the fact that these titles are not worth putting on another edition, do you really think they're going to do the time and effort and money to put into it when they know they're not going to get that money back? They're not going to do that, guys. They just don't see the profit in it. Do I agree with it? No, I don't agree with it. I want these titles out in physical media form. But if I was in Disney's shoes, I would even do the same thing. I don't think every title needs to come on 4K. I think that there are certain ones that deserve the love on 4K, but is every title going to benefit from the 4K format? No. So I understand what they're doing. Look, at the end of the day, Disney controls all these properties with a vice grip. They do. Why? Because they're money hungry, they're property hungry, and they want to screw over the consumers. I'm telling you right now, guys, this is not about whether these titles are coming on 4K. Okay? Fine, if they're not coming on 4K, whoop-de-doo. It's about the fact that Disney is basically controlling everything. When this Fox deal happened, everybody had blinders on, and they were looking at Marvel, and they were looking at Fantastic Four, and they were looking at X-Men, and they were saying, "Oh my God, this is amazing." What they weren't looking at is the fact that Disney is a company that holds back their titles, that doesn't release them for a long time, and they are a company that is all about the back end. If it doesn't benefit them, then why are they going to do it? And that goes along with the movies that they've acquired from Fox. So many unknown gems that are out there that have been released by companies like Shout Factory or Arrow or Vinegar Syndrome, Severin, Criterion. Do you think Disney is going to let these companies take care of their properties? Maybe a little bit over time, but I don't think as much as you guys want them to. I think that they want a lot of these titles to basically go out of print, that there's a hunger for them, and then when there's a hunger and when people really want them, they're then going to release another edition, upcharge the price, and then screw you guys over. That's what they're going to do. So if I was you, if I liked any of those old school Fox titles, and if they're on Blu-ray, you get them. You support the physical media platform because Fox has no use for it anymore. They have Disney Plus. They own the majority of Hulu. That's what they care about, is the money. They're going to put these titles on the format because why? Because they understand that holding back these titles is a benefit to them in their wallets, in their pockets. Guys, you got to understand this, man. You really honestly do. They hold back Disney releases in the vault until there's a hunger for them, and then they re-release them again. Why? It's the money. You follow the money trail, guys. It's not about the 4K. I understand you guys love the 4K, but you gotta look at it in a wide-ranging physical media format thing. And when you do, you understand how they're really gonna screw over the consumers. Disney's a monopoly. It's not going away, but you can be smart about it. Look into this, guys. Honestly, please do. And definitely give me your opinions on that. And I hope you liked the video. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Check out the other Blu-ray and DVD Tuesday videos, movie hunting, Blu-ray pickups, theatrical movie reviews, so much more. If you love everything I do, definitely hit subscribe and be a part of the Film Fan Nation. And also keep up to date with everything I'm doing through Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Film Fan 108. Keep up to date with everything I'm doing, plus special pictures and videos I do from time to time on social media as well. Alright, guys, I will see you back next week for a brand new Blu-ray and DVD out and about video. Take care, everybody, and happy hunting.